Boris has been slammed all bark no bite over his handling of Brexit situation as new rules come up. Boris Johnson has been slammed for his handling of Brexit after he vowed to maximise the benefits of Brexit in 2022 as consumers were warned to brace for fresh disruption due to new rules coming into play. The Prime Minister, marking a year since the post-Brexit free trade deal with the European Union came into force, said the government would go further and faster to take advantage of the enormous potential that our new freedoms bring in the new year. But it comes as January 1st ushers in new barriers to trade with the bloc, with rules stating that importers must make a full customs declaration on goods entering the UK from the EU or other countries. Former Brexit Party MEP Ben Habib has lashed out at Mr Johnson for shirking opportunities. Mr Habib said, "If you ditch the trade and cooperation agreement and set the UK truly free of all the shackles in it that actually keep the UK in lunar orbit about the EU, we would be free, we would be an independent country. The border would be where it should be, which is between Northern Ireland and Ireland, where it has been for 100 years and recognised as part of the Good Friday Agreement." But the Prime Minister has shirked every opportunity he has had to give effect to that border, choosing instead to partition the UK. "I don't see any solution other than the government effectively accepting greater alignment with the EU and thereby dulling down the impact and the optics of the border in the Irish Sea. But the border in the Irish Sea will remain no matter what the Prime Minister's New Year's resolutions are. He's going to buckle on that point. Traders will no longer be able to delay completing full import customs declarations for up to 175 days, a measure that was introduced to cope with the disruption of Brexit. The British Frozen Food Federation, BFFF, said new border controls on animal and plant products from the EU could see major delays at ports in the new year. The UK imports 5 times the amount of food it exports to the EU, so the potential for massive delays and food supply issues in January is high. Mobile phone users could also be affected, with 2 of the UK's 4 biggest networks, EE and Vodafone, reintroducing roaming charges for customers travelling to Europe from the start of 2022. 3 is set to reintroduce them in May 2022. However, the Prime Minister, heralding the departure from the EU for allowing Britain to forge its own policies on immigration, coronavirus vaccines, bilateral trade deals and standards, said his administration wanted to cut back on EU red tape and restore common sense to our rule books in 2022. Downing Street said officials are reviewing thousands of individual Brussels-made regulations which have automatically been kept on the statute book after Brexit, known as retained EU law, to ensure they benefit the UK, with laws that do not stand up to that criteria set to be reformed or repealed. One law that could be abolished is a ban on pint-sized bottles of champagne, lifting a restriction against imperial measurements of sparkling wine that has been in place since Britain joined the common market in 1973. Alongside the retained law review, officials said work is taking place across Whitehall to see where the UK can take the lead, including on artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, reforming data rights to be more proportionate and less burdensome than the EU's GDPR regime, and reforming medical devices regulation to allow for the introduction of cutting-edge technology in the health sector. Number 10 said the plans were designed to build on recommendations from the Task Force for Regulatory Reform, Innovation and Growth, TIGRA, which has reported back to ministers after being led by former Conservative leader Sir Ian Duncan-Smith. Only one of the 27 EU countries has agreed a deal to rescue post-Brexit music tours despite Boris Johnson's vow to fix the crisis. An industry group is protesting. The Prime Minister made the pledge under pressure 9 months ago, but only Spain has signed an agreement since, leaving artists drowning in expensive mountains of red tape. Now the Incorporated Society of Musicians is urging Liz Truss, the new Brexit minister, to reject the hardline approach of her predecessor, David Frost, which failed to make progress. David Frost